Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. I'm here to bring the review for Shaman King episode 35. So we start things off where we left off last episode, and Trey finishes his confrontation. He wins his fight, and I think really what this scene is supposed to, or yeah, this bit scene is supposed to let us know is that Trey does have some skills. He may not have the most for Ryoku out there, but he does have some skills, and I think this is apparent because of what he was doing within this episode. Um he was oversouling with spirits who are not initially his spirits. So there's this whole theme of bonding and all that. So a stronger bond with your spirit leads for stronger results when it comes to oversoul, when it comes to what's that one called? Possession, not possession, he's the one who's for me. Unity, that's the word I was looking for, and just stuff like that. So the fact that he was able to do this with other spirits within this episode, he didn't use Unity, but he just used Oversoul. It's just showing. I think that's was there to just show you that Trey is skilled in other ways. So he wins his fight, and he knocks himself out. Well, not he falls unconscious, and that's what leads to another thing that happens within this episode, where we find out about Lysak. And now Lysak has now got another guardian spirit. This one is an angel, obviously a higher class than Morphine, and it's just that big reveal there. We get a kind of a hint to just how strong he is now, because he was easily able to take out one of Ziki's minions, something that it does seem to be something that it does seem like that people within Team Yo, and we talk about the whole of Team Yo, not like the three-man Team Yo, are seeming to struggle to do at this present moment in time. So it's just showing you that Ziki has leveled up recently. And another thing, and I'm not sure, but I think this is what they were doing when they did it, was to just let you know this isn't the same as the OG anime. Because if my memory is serving me correctly, in the OG anime, when Lysak gets his angel guardian ghost, he abandons Morphine. But within this 2021 version, it seems like, they're still buddy-buddy. He might use her on occasion still. It just doesn't seem to be no abandonment that I'm remembering from the original OG anime. Could be wrong, but that's why I feel like that line from Yo when he said, "What did you do with Morphine?" and Lysak responds positively. I feel like that's why that was thrown in there. So because Lysak took out one of Ziki's boys, Ziki's boys want revenge, and this leads to something which I don't know how I feel about it, because Ziki's boys ambush Lysak where Yo is present, and this leads to them escaping, but Ryu stays behind. And while Ryu stays behind, Yo says to him is, do your best to get away. So what I feel like this was hinting towards that is that Yo was confident that Ryu was strong enough to fight this opponent, not defeat, but fight well enough to be able to get away. Obviously. But when we actually do get the fight, granted we don't. But when we actually do get the fight, granted it wasn't a long fight, and I really feel like probably some of it was off screen, but it seems like too one-sided. It seems like Ryu was just getting beat up, where I don't think that should be the case when Yo was pretty confident that he would have been at least able to get away. So I feel like that fight was too one-sided, but that did lead to a small hint, just a little taster of what I forget what the group is called, but it's one of the big three for Shaman King. You know who I'm talking about if you've watched the episode, but that's what we get a little hint for them, and they was easily able to beat the members of Team Ziki that was present, and Tell her that they didn't beat them, but there was easily the Team Zeki's minions that was there present was scared enough to like, oh my gosh, we got to retreat now. So that gives you a little hint to just what kind of power they are rocking, or skill, power and skill they are rocking. And again, you need to remember, presently our heroes are kind of struggling with these guys. So it's just something that you got to remember. And now, probably the last thing I want to mention for this review is the reveal at the end that it was Jacko and the Shaft boys were the ones that killed the little kids' parents on Christmas Day. Probably took out the presents as well. But yeah, parents on Christmas Day. And now, when that third episode dropped, I was like, yo, little kiddies are adults now. Like, before they're all buddy, all laughing, kind of like cute like kids. And even in the episode today, we see the little boy, he's like, ah. But at the end of the episode, things got real, got serious. And that leads to a fight between Jacko and the kids, which will probably be shown next episode. One thing that did come to mind, though, is that the whole thing with Jacko and his backstory was that he was taught not to act out of anger, and he does that within this episode where he charges upon finding out that his friends have been killed. And now everyone has slip-ups. We're all human at the end of the day. Everyone has slip-ups. It's just something that I noticed, and not saying that it goes against Jacko's character, but this is something that, I feel like will be addressed within the next episode. Maybe he has his moment of rage, and then he realizes and he pulls it back. But at the end of the day, he is a young kid, so mistakes can be made here and there. So it's just something that I noticed, and I thought I'd mention it for the review to see what you guys also think on this particular topic. I am going to give this episode a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please guys, my YouTube channel. Most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.